Hello, YouTube. Welcome to Campaign Train. I am your host, That Guy Cross. Welcome to the basement again. I have a slight problem, and it cropped up at the very last minute. I hadn't realized I hadn't plugged in my microphones yet, so I ran upstairs, and they're not where I keep them. So I don't know where my good microphone is. So I'm on my microphone. I hope you can hear me. The thing says you can hear me. So I'm having to talk into this one. So if you can't hear me, I'm sorry about that. Also, there's kind of a tiny bit of an audio lag on this mic, but that should only matter while you're looking at me directly face on. So yeah, it's always something down here. The basement, you work in a basement. What are you going to do? I did, however, find my black and white skull and crossbones shamrock. So that's good. It's too hot to wear it. It's warm down here. I turned on the fan and everything earlier. But I'm very happy about that. I will take that upstairs with me when I go. And I will throw that on the floor first. So, yeah, I don't normally have the microphone hanging around my neck. It's weird to not. Anyway, hi, welcome. So, pretty chill stream tonight. I usually have pretty chill streams anyway, but tonight I am going to design. Well, I kind of have the idea in my head, but physically design and begin to build the ceilings of these two cabins and the deck above, because that's going to be one piece, and I'm going to build a front one and a rear one. And so those are not like squares or rectangles. They're both tapered. One's a triangle, one's wider on the front than it is at the rear. So I'm going to have to kind of finagle that as I go. A couple layers of cardboard going to fit in there to make like a little gasket where they fit in. That works exactly like my city block, so go watch those videos if you want to figure out exactly how it works, but you'll see it here because I'm going to get to it. A lot of people have been really liking the railings that I did on these, which turned out really way better than I thought, and it's not my idea. I honestly don't remember where I got the idea from. If you are a creator and you said, I did that years ago, and you are somebody I already watch, you may be the one I got it from. But I expected these to be like a third as many balusters is the upright part of railings. But once I got, excuse me, let me reach up by your face there and grab my little guy here. Once I got my little guy in here, it looked really weird having a gap that wide, because if you look, his body is about that wide, and the balusters were about that far apart. So somebody could have slid, fallen through. They weren't safe railings. This is what I'm saying. So I had to use more pins than I thought. I don't have enough pins to complete the outer part, so I may get the decks done, but not the railings tonight. I don't think I'm even going to try on the railings tonight. So, yeah. Let's pretty much jump into it. You know how it works. I got the side camera, but it's got the bright light. If I turn it on, you'd be blind right now, so let me switch that camera, turn on that light, then we'll hit this up. I'll put these off to the side while I do that, and then I'm going to grab some cardboard. I've already got the hot glue gun going. So I gotta have cardboard at least as wide as the ship, and I don't think, oh yeah I do. I've got some over there I can use. So let's switch to that. Should still be able to, yep, okay. Let me switch this light on. Big flash of light, and then it settles back down. I forget, I can't talk to you while I'm walking around the room anymore because the mic is stationary now. All right, so let me grab that styrofoam, that cardboard from over there, and get to work on this. Meanwhile, put this out of the way. Please like, share, subscribe, and afterwards comment. The sharing, the liking, and the commenting, and subscribing. It all drives the almighty algorithm we all have to bow down to here on YouTube. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Meanwhile, let me put this out of the way so I'll end up knocking that loose at some point. So let's put that on the side. Go grab some cardboard. Now, for this cardboard, I'm going to keep using the post office stuff that I've been using. It's pretty sturdy, but it's pretty thin. So you can see what I'm talking about here. This is the stuff the post office provides us. Now I have some that's already glued together, and this should work, but I don't know that's actually wide enough. It should be. Remember, on this channel, should is always in parentheses. I mean in quotation marks. Should does not mean is. Can mean is, but does not always mean is. So we will see. That one's not going to be wide enough there. That's going to be wide enough and then not long enough. So that piece is not going to work. That's fine. Didn't expect it to. This piece, that piece will. Okay. So that's a good place to start. So let's take that. What I am doing, I can't really show that. I'm super right-handed, so I got to kind of, my hand's always in the way. Let me show you what I'm doing. I am making sure that this corner covers this corner. I don't know why I'm rocking some. My table's warped. So let me try this on a solid flat board and make sure that my ship hasn't warped over the last week. My ship's gone to warp. What kind of ship, Cross? Oh yeah, that's warped like crazy. Well, there's no real way to fix that. So I think it was fine with the amount of tension I had. And then when I cut out these gaps for the railings to go in, it didn't have that outward pressure here anymore and kind of curled up on itself. That is, that's the thing. All right. So, LC got here first this time. Technical failures. Oh, I'm sorry. I had a few myself. I forgot the microphone when I first got here, so I'm on the wrong mic. So if I sound weird, sorry about that. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking this piece that I know is going to cover the corner up at the front. I am going to, this is a very strange thing. You'll see why I do this in a minute. I'm marking underneath. Then I'm going to turn this over. Match those same points up with the this might not actually fit. Why is it not? How the heck did I do that? Ah, I marked it at the wrong spot. I marked it here. It doesn't need to be marked here. It needs to be marked here. Which means this piece may not work. It may be too short. Okay. Maybe we'll make that work out of that, but I can't get it to work this way. So, I'm going to take this and mark here. And you can't see that line because it's right across that ink, but it's right where I need it to be. Okay. Alrighty, so, yeah, I need to then put this here, take my Sharpie straight edge, and mark from that edge to that point I made. And then, I recently found my little ceramic knives, so try those, see if that works. To be honest, I put a lot of pressure on blades back and forth. I expect to snap these ceramic knives right off. But for now, I've got them. They're sharp as anything. So, ooh, they're not very long though, so it's gonna take forever to get through that. So, take a different dang knife. Okay. This is a discard. I don't know why I said it in my horrible fake French accent. Okay, so, oh, whoops. I cut it wrong in the first place. Well, actually, I cut it wrong in about the fourth or fifth place. All right. So, Have at thee. With the cardboard. Alright. Now, let's try this again with style and verve. Okay, so now I have plenty of width. And I forgot earlier, I'm not going from this edge of this wall or this edge of this wall. I'm going from actually all the way out at the edge where this railing comes up and across these top stairs. These top stairs are going to be hidden when the lid's on. Lid, roof, deck, ceiling, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so now I'm going to take that and hold it very steadily in place while I start to pencil at the front and go all the way along the edge. Now, this is really weird because I'm going to have to cut this, and then I've got to make it fit inside. Oh, that's going to be weird. That's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. That's all right. We're going to get it down to the right shape first, just to make sure we're close to the right thing, and then we'll trim it down as necessary. Give me just a second, now we'll take a look at what y'all are talking about in the chat there. Anybody ever come back and watch these after the fact, or whatever? Do the chats replay? Because the chat, I've got it set to where the chats replay, but sometimes it doesn't seem to want to. So if you've been watching after the fact and have not been seeing the chat replays, that's a problem. If you have been seeing the chat replays, then all is well. You know, as well as can be expected from YouTube. Which is generally not well at all. Okay, so won't need these. Nope, those are nice long pieces of double thick. Those might come in handy for something. Okay, so this piece should, give or take, fit right here. It does. Now I need to trim it down on both sides. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. Okay. That needs to go to here and here and here. But these side pieces, I need to follow the curvature of the gunnels. The gunnels are the side edges of a boat, ship, whatever. No, you know what? If I want this, yeah, I've got this thing all jacked up in my head. I may have to start over. Sorry about that, guys and gals and non-binary pals. Oh, because what I needed to do is I needed to sit in here so it will nestle in like a keyhole, like a little notch, a little key pin that fits in here. But I also maybe need a piece out here so that the part over the top isn't weak later. But I can't get it too thick or this top step will be huge. So what do I do? What do I do? Okay, I'm going to start over, and this top piece is going to be this outer piece. I can still use this because I can trim it down and fit inside here. This will be my keyway notch piece, and I'll use one single layer here for this, and I'm going to skip any type of holder in here. For now, I can add that later if I need to. That way I only have one layer of this thin corrugated, and then I will have one layer of foam core on top of that with more of these candy colored deck planks cut in. Okay, single layer wide enough piece. Will you work? You will definitely be enough. Okay, so I want this little fold piece in here, so I'm going to cut that off. Put the ship out of the way for a second. Okay, I said I was going to read the thing, and I didn't. Technical failures. Oh, and that's okay, you're warped too. Yeah, the ship's gone to warp, I've gone to warp, we're all warped. Poor tablet's old and slow like me. You are not at all slow. Alright, once it starts working, it'll usually keep working. That's good. Old and slow, but there's no guarantee that I start working or keep working. We're all in this together. As the saying goes, well, we're all in this together. Keep your stick on the ice. I'm pulling for you. Y'all know what that reference is to? I'm very happy for you because it's very funny. If you don't know what that reference is to, well, that's all right. Come ask me on the Discord. I'm doing everything I can to get people to go over to my Discord. Oh, yeah, chat replay could be scary since you're part of the replay. Well, hate to tell you this, but if all has gone well, you've been replayed for many of the last weeks. Hopefully all the last weeks, but I think I didn't. I think I forgot to do that the first and second week, and this is 60 weeks. Holy cow! I've been doing these lives a while, haven't I? Hant I. Is that a word? I don't know. Let me check my redneckosaurus. Yep, hant I. That's a word. It is now. Liking that episode. Wow, I am not speaking well tonight. Liking that one episode of Futurama where they talk to Beck, and they go, "That's not a word." And he goes, "Sure it is. Look it up in the Bectionary." I'm like, "Yeah, I know how that feels." Okay, let's try this again with style and verb again. Okay, so what I am going to do this time is I have cut across this tape over and over and over again. I imagine that is not usable. So let's get new tape. All my hot glue off my mat here. Okay, let's get some new tape. And what I am going to do is a couple of strips of tape here, just a little bit narrower than the top rail. Or top, yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. And peel those up. I'm going to get the ship again. And then I'm going to take this and put it where I need it to go. And this little strip is to hold it. If I draw on that side, I'm not going to be able to see because there's all that writing. Whatever, I'm just going to cut it. I'm just going to go balls to the wall and cut it. Okay, so we are going to take this and that into the old place there, and I set the ship on top of the other piece of tape because of course I did. Alright, I'm going to take that piece of tape and, well, obviously we're going to tape with it. Thank you, Cross. Captain Obvious. Okay, so now that I have that in place and I know that that needs to be exactly that shape, I'm going to take that and just follow the edge of the ship. Pardon me if my head's in the way of the camera. Follow the edge of that ship with the blade all the way off. That cut through on one? No. Let's make a second pass. Right there in that little groove. I think that should come loose. No. Why is it not coming loose? Okay. Then we will take the other side. There. No, don't cut the ship, dingus. It's really not going to matter. There's going to be another piece of trim right there, so that won't even matter. But I don't want to keep doing it, for obvious reasons. Okay, now, I don't know if you can see how much I've got this blade bent, but you can see what I meant when I was talking earlier about putting sideways pressure on blades, because dang. And a few weeks ago, some of y'all got to see me almost poke myself in the eye by snapping a blade off and it hit me in the face. That was interesting in the may you live at interesting times sort of way. Okay, so now that is exactly that, except somehow I managed to still, how did I cut under the edge? Piece wiggled right. That's not going to matter because I'm putting trim on that. It just needs to be big enough to sit on there. And that's actually pretty sturdy, but I still need those pieces underneath. So I don't think I'm going to need the one at the front here. Once I get the foam core on here and the multiple layers and everything, I think it'll be sturdy enough. So what I'm going to do is trim off just this front piece where it has to round around that board. First, I'm going to backhand my knife because that'll be smart. My open knife. I'm smart like that. SMAT spells dumbass. Okay. So. Oh, that was funny. Okay, so. And we're done. Good night. No. Okay, so. I need to now figure out how to cut the piece that goes inside there. Then I need to figure out how to support it. I'll put some double stick on this and get it to stick to it in the right spot. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of trial and error. I'd rather just do it. Okay, so we will then take you and... Okay, this wall is kind of bowed, so I need to take that into account. So I'm actually moving this just in just a little. Putting it right there. Finding my pencil, which I've misplaced. There we go. And then I want to make a mark there and there and there. And then I know that that needs to come in that far, so I will take that and put that mark here-ish. Then I will draw a line from there to here because we've already pretty much passed the curvature part where we're on the straight part. So that should work. Straight edge. I don't want my big one. This time we don't use that bone. So let's grab this little one. I think it's funny. These are called carpenter squares because they didn't have any other name for them. Because technically, carpenters used all of the squares. I don't know why I'm drawing it. I can just cut that. Now, this is multiple layers of card and the hot glue in there. This is going to take, I was just going to say it's going to take more times through, but it didn't. It took less times through. Whatever. Okay. So, since I just cut off my point, I know that that is my point. So now, I'm going to mark here. Is it really that narrow? I guess it is. We'll find out in a minute. If not, it's cardboard. I can always redo it. Dang, that one went through 3 cuts as well. All right. I don't know if y'all can hear me because I keep walking to the other side of the table from the microphone. Okay, so hypothetically, this should fit in here. Nope, I did something wrong. That is okay. It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. Okay. Oh, I want it this way. Okay, that's the right width at that end. This just needs to have the new length done. It's going to be here. And back to the straight edge. This time I definitely don't need the long one because this one's a shorter cut. But I'm going to the same corners. Those are fine. I mean, they're all corners. I'm starting a new one corner, but the other 2 corners are the same. You've gotten to the portion of the evening where I always ask y'all, anybody else crafting or y'all just hanging out? I haven't been watching the chat, so y'all may have been talking about all sorts of stuff in the meantime. I do not know what a Kiradashi is, but I'll take one, whatever it is. You're going to send me one for free? That's fine. Quando omni fluncas mortitatis. Yes, exactly correct. That is exactly correct with the... That can't be right. I cut off my thingamy. You hate it when you cut off the thingamy. I'm a man, but I can change if I have to, I guess. Yep. Some people are like, what the heck are you talking about? I don't know, weird Canadian stuff. Go look it up. Okay, so this will now still be here when I cut the other piece off. Quando omni fontes mortari. No matter what, play dead, or when all else fails, play dead. Something like that. That's got glue in it. I literally only cut it down so it fits in my little trash can down there, in case you're wondering why I cut all my scraps. That's just so they fit in the trash can. Now, this should, if I'm lucky, fall out of my hand. Yep. Now I gotta figure out how to get it out. Not a problem, I can just flip the ship over. Now, I gotta figure out how to get it attached to this piece. And that is gonna be a trick. What can I use springy here to keep this pushed up against that while the double stick takes? I think I'm going to use multiple layers of foam. Oh, on a tabletop role-playing crafting channel? What? Okay. The trick is getting the foam in the right thickness. That's close, but not quite. So, maybe 2 layers of foam core. That's too big. That won't fit. This one, 2 layers of foam core. That's going to be too tall. Nope, that is perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take a piece of tape. Use that as a double stick. I only need to get it here long enough that when I can flip it back over, trace around it, then I can pull it off and hot glue it on. So that's in place, and nope, it's not in place. That is now in place, and this is lined up. Yeah. Hey, look at that. Almost like I planned it. Almost. Okay, so I'll need this when I do the back one as well, but we'll get to that. We'll burn that bridge once we cross it. With my luck, we'll burn that bridge while we cross it. Okay, so I will now take this off of here, and your masking tape is supposed to come off easy. Let go. Do your job. traditional utility knife. Is that the one that's very straight? It's got the straight handle and the blade is straight and it's curved on one side? Guys, I'd love one of those. What I'd like to have, I used to have a pair. They're in some of my early videos, but they long ago broke because mine were crap, fakey ones, but I'm not getting the noun. The noun is the curly-handled bonsai scissors. So it could be argued that every day I touch a tool, somebody is yelling bonsai. I'm not dangerous, I swear. I'm totally dangerous. The problem is I'm not dangerous in the fun way. I'm not even dangerous like Darkwing Duck. I'm just scary. In a bad way. Okay, so. A little bit of sploop in the middle. Wow, this doesn't want to come out. There it goes. Little sploop in the middle. Little sploop to fill that out. But the big part, the important part, is the edges. So let's sploop the edges, shall we? Now, I am on low temp with the glue, so this is actually going to be starting to set up pretty quickly. So it is rather warm down here. So, let's get that flipped over and put into place quickly, shall we? Okay, lining up on all my little lines I drew. Well, right now I'm lining up near all the little lines I drew, but I'm supposed to be lining up on them. There we go. Okay. And let's see if that fits. Hypothetically, that's gonna... Ha-ha! I did a thing. A thing has occurred. A thingage has been accomplished. Okay, so that's it, and it's plenty sturdy, so when I stick another layer of foam core on there, that'll be peachy keen. Now let's do the same thing on the back. Let's move this one out of the way, because otherwise I'm going to end up dropping on the floor and bending the corners and being angry at myself. So let's sit that over. Meow. Alrighty, where's my... Oh, I'm out of single layer. So I'm going to have to cut a piece of single layer, which means move the ship out of the way. Move the cutting board out of the way, because it's a bigger piece than that. Put this other box of foam away. Okay. I'm going to need a double piece. At least that one. See if this one will work. Yes! Yes, I can just cut it crosswise instead of... Well, technically everything I cut is crosswise. But I can cut it that way. So that's good for my double thick piece. But I still need a single thick piece. Let's drop an entire ship. That'll be great. I'm stepping on something that's irritating me. What am I stepping on? Oh, piece of a chopstick. Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and get these flaps out of the way to begin with. You're not long apart. No. Okay, just like that, I'm unflappable. That pun was truly horrible. I hope some of y'all laughed. Okay. I keep sitting stuff in my own way. Okay. Come on. There we go. I can tell this knife needs a run across ye olde sharpening stone. Let's grab ye olde sharpening stone and do the thing. Could do that where you could see it, but really I'm trying to keep that noise away from the microphone, so. That should be much sharper. Which means I definitely close that while I'm not using it. Okay, I only need one layer of this. Let's take the one with the glued on piece and push that out of the way so I don't have to even worry if that's there. Still got another flap I got to work around, so we'll take that off real quick. Oh, well, shows you what sharpening does. I went through it one slice. Wow! Okay, now. Oh. Almost grabbed the wrong deck. That would have been useless. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, one of those. Yes, I've seen those. They use them for marking a lot and then chisel where they mark. Yes, those are lovely. If one of those showed up here, I would be absolutely ecstatic. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and actually, I'm going to use the same 2 strips of tape I had before because I've got them. Lapsed into quietude again. Sorry about that, y'all. I know, I do that every once in a while. Okay, so that's that. And we're going to do like we did. I just put that down. We're going to go ahead and do like we did a minute ago. Just sit that down and cut exactly where we need it. This is weird because it's got this rounded part here, so yeah. I started to do that and the ship slid on the cardboard the opposite direction that the tape holds it. Because of course it did, why not? Which may have been why my first one was not 100% accurate. Come on. That would be sliced right through. Alright. Okay, that's lined up with that edge. Good. That wasn't bad grammar. That was 2 sentences. That's lined up with that edge. Good. I realize y'all don't care about my grammar, but it irritates me when I use bad grammar. It is a holdover from my tragic childhood, copyright, patent pending, trademark, tragic childhood. Nobody else has ever had one. But I learned English at an early age from a horrible, horrible person. And some of those repeated, let's just say punishments that I got for not speaking at a college level when I was 4 have stuck with me for decades. Because why not? I don't need to know all that. I didn't come here to hear you whine about your grandmother. Oh, well. Here's the thing. If my grandmother wants to come back and give me any grief over it, well, she's welcome to do so. It would require a seance, but she's welcome to try. I shouldn't say that. She probably would. How? How? I cut along the edge. How is it? Whatever. This is fine. Okay. Now. Second verse, I missed the first. That piece, that double-sided piece I said, yeah, okay, there it is. Okay, I need to straighten this off first, and I barely have any room to do that. So I need to, oh no, I've got more than I thought. So I need to go from about here to here, straight line, so that's another straight edgy gizmo cut. Alright. I've been wanting to make some. Their simplicity really is deceptive. They're very well designed for their purpose, especially if made in a traditional composite manner. Yeah, I'm always impressed by the smithing trades. A person I know is married to a blacksmith, and he does stuff that I look at, and I'm just like, you did what now? Holy crap. And he makes a significant amount of money from his handmade knives and stuff he makes. And every time I see him, I'm just like blown away. I'm just like, to me, that's magic. And then he looks at the stuff I do, and he's like, how do you even think to do it? I'm like, I don't. It just pops into my head. I don't think at all. That's part of the problem. Okay, so now I have a straight edge here, not a very, very, very slightly curved edge. Stop that. Why are you doing this? Okay, this wall is straight, so we're going to use that. We are going to mark that, and of course I did. I put it right in this blue ink, so I'm going to move the entire thing over so I can mark where there's not blue ink, so I can see the pencil line. This one's curved inward as well, so we'll take that into account here. Going to mark that and that. Then I'm going to use the square part of the square to draw those lines right across. Now that room is not square, so this is just a starting point. But I do want that to go all the way across, so let's do it this way. And I drew these right at where I need, and I need them to be just ever so slightly in, so I'm actually going to barely cut off each of those pencil marks. Let's use the outside of the ruler because I think that'll make it easier. It's not a ruler, it's a square, but you know what I mean. And they're not called rulers anyway, they're called rules. Speaking of the bad grammar I was mentioning earlier. As often as I say words like Yaldov, it's probably baffling to some people that I care about my grammar, but I do. Drives me nuts. A Texas relative who is fairly near and dear to my heart and is a relative of mine. We grew up speaking in the same part of the state of Texas, and they spell y'all wrong. I'm like, how did you manage that? It's you all. It's Y apostrophe, and they spell it YA apostrophe. And I'm like, that's not right. Okay. That looks wonky as hell because this corner, this edge is off, but these three are square to each other. Okay, now here, and this needs to go to go to there, but I don't know the length yet because I'm taking it in baby steps. Baby steps. Okay, now I'm going to unsquare all that stuff I just squared. Unsquare is rounding. No, not really. I cracked a friend of mine up one time, a million years ago. We used to talk about the fact that he pronounced things weird and I pronounced things weird because he was from Wisconsin and he had moved to Texas and he thought all us Texans talked funny. And I'm like, you moved here. You need to talk like us, not the other way. He's like, okay, that's fair. But the thing that turned out that both of us thought was funny was something about the way I said something in Texan. I don't remember what it was. In Texan, like Texan's language. Damn near, but no. Oh, we were talking about the word y'all. And he's like, it's not y'all. Just say you all, or you guys, or use guys. And I'm like, but it's y'all. He's like, say you all. And I'm like, no, a U-Haul's a big orange truck. Took him a second, and then he about died laughing. Okay, this is the top. Means the top is going to get the tape and then the glue. Squirrely on me halfway through that cut. As long as it fits in the little divot, we're good. Okay, now, hypothetically, this will just drop in there. Yep, we'll do the same thing as before. Grab the foam again, whatever I did with it, there it is. And that was 3 of those. One of those, and one of those. Okay, I'm going to take this, line that piece up, stick that there. Okay. You there, you there. No, 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 no. We're not going to throw foam all over the room. Thank you. My foam box tried to jump out my hands. Okay. Now, probably won't need those again. They're beginning to lose their stick-em anyway, but for now, go. Okay, now, again, we will take this, and I actually had trouble seeing that last time, so we're going to take something a little more emphatic. That's not going to do it. There we go. Milwaukee brand markers, better than Sharpies. Fight me. Open to sponsorships, Milwaukee. Let me know. I was rather surprised the other day to see that Milwaukee tools are sold in both England and Australia. I'm like, do they not know where Milwaukee's at? Anyway, okay, so that's going to fit right there. Let's go ahead and get that glued up. Again, split in the middle. Technical terms again. Okay. There's the middle splupped, and let's get these edges. Whoa, that's going to squidge out on the side. Oh well. Okay, okie dokie. Flip that over. Line that up all the way around. Good to go. Oh, not good to go. Let's push that a little while it's still squidgy. Okay, perfect. Ish. Perfect enough. Worried that's going to come loose. Yep, sure is. Alright, so my 2 layers on my other part from earlier, we're going to bend that out of the way. A little bit in there. Push that down, and of course I split those layers, so a little bit in there. And then put that into place. Go do the same thing over here. A little on that layer. Push it down, burn my finger. A little on this layer. Push it down, try not to burn my finger. Okay. These other edges loose. If I get the corners, I think I'm fine. Yeah, this one needs a little help. That other one was fine. I don't know why this one doesn't have enough glue. Okay, you good? Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. What about you? You're good. This edge? No, we're okay. Okay. Take that, push it all down. Alright, so that is the Poupe. I don't mean, dude, that shit is the Poupe. Like, that's literally the Poupe deck. And I don't know where I set the foxhole. There it is. Glad that wasn't pointy and was needing to be rounded. Okay, so that is the foxhole. So there we go. Not a bad thing tonight because the rest of it I can just glue this to some, I keep wanting to call it drywall, foam core, and then put more planks into it. And that seems really boring, and we're coming up toward 8 o'clock, so I don't necessarily want to do that tonight. I'll get the foam core glued on, but I won't do the other part. Alright, so this part needs to go here, and I think I have it backward. Yep, that goes here. Just bumped the microphone. Sorry if that was very loud and cacophonous. Or cacophonous if you're my brother, because he thinks it's funny to say the word anus in the middle of that word. He's not pronouncing it incorrectly. He's pronouncing it the way he means to. He just thinks that's funny. I guess he's right, but it's not my style of humor. Yeah, whatever. Alrighty, so let's the drywall, the foam core over there. Take the foxhole, take the Poupe, take the chip, place the chip. Like this. Now, do I want to go ahead and peel it before I stick it on? Nah, it'll be fine. I'll peel it after. This side is, I've already peeled. That's why it's got this weird curvature to it. It always curves toward the side you've removed the paper from. This side's still got the paper on it. Just makes it a little more rigid while you're using it. And sometimes I need the paper on one side for reasons. Not this particular usage, though. Okay, so we will now take this and more. Oh, hello, Mr. Daddy Longleg spider thing. There you go, little friend. Okay. We don't hurt the 8-leggers because the 8-leggers get rid of the 6-leggers. I can't stand the 6-legger. Okay, so we will then take this and we will do more sploop in the middle. I should put this on high temp just for this, so I don't have to worry about it freezing up. Is that the right word? I mean, technically, it hardens. And maybe? This one's actually less important right on the edge because there will be a piece of edge trim that will glue these two together. So I am sort of fast tracking this line here. Okay, take you. Whoop. Go over. Place you down. Push in place. And I'm doing this on the flat board. As I said, my table's warped, so I'm doing this on the flat one to get my deck as flat as possible. Older Sharpies were better, yeah. I didn't even realize that they had changed Sharpies until one time I went to buy one and they carded me. And I was like, Sharpies can't get you stoned. Why are they carding me for a Sharpie? But anyway, the lady looked at me and said, you're clearly old enough. I was like, yeah, okay, thank you. And then I went to go use the Sharpies later and was like, holy cow. The new Sharpies will get you really messed up. The Milwaukee's don't do that. And are a better pen. So, yay. I was kind of hoping I could squeeze that in there, but it's wider than the foam core I've got. Oh well, I'll do it this way. Okay, yours should be good. Your. That was not bad grammar. That was just I don't know how to talk. I lapsed into quietude again. Well, I'm singing a silly song, because that way at least you know I'm still microphonally speaking. Now, I can actually tell that had already started to heat up more because I can feel it through the cardboard. So that's going to take a little bit longer to set. So we're going to leave that for a second. Alrighty. Now, this side, let's go ahead and tack that off. And got all quiet again. Because of course I did. Okay. Oops, that's the part that squidged out, like I said. Alright. I looked up a different word for squidge the other day because I was like, I say squidge all the time, and that doesn't really sound correct. Oh, the correct word is squidge. Who knew? I have a lot of non-crafting words that people say differently than I feel should be done. That's just my opinion. Everybody can speak how they want. But there's some words that irritate me. But in the crafting world, there's really only two that drive me bonkers. One is slap chop. No, it's not slap chop. It's grisaille. Use the word. We've had it for several hundred years. It's not a new technique. Oh well, preaching to the choir on that one. And pissing into the wind on that one, really. The other one is the word is greeble. There is no such thing as a greebly. Things can be very greebly once you've stuck a bunch of greebles on it. But there is no such noun as a greebly. And I don't know why that one bothers me, because it's a made-up freaking word in the first place. There's no reason that one should irritate me. And every time it's like hearing a verbal speed bump. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm not the boss of grammar and wording. You can tell by the fact I just used the word wording there. Whatever. I think I'm coming up with weird random stuff in the back of my mind to babble about now. You should see me on days when I'm not live. Ugh. All the stuff goes through my head. Anyway. Now, the reason I rounded the corners on these back ones is because that's the ones. Those are the ones that fit over these rounded parts here. And I should not have brought this in on this one. I should have cut this off here. But there's going to be a trim piece that sits here, which I can fudge. And there's a trim piece that sits here, which will make all that work. So if I put this piece on first and then attach that one under that edge piece, no one will know this gap's there but me, and I won't care. So that is that. We are at 8 o'clock. I like to keep it between an hour and an hour and a half. I have been here an hour tonight. And as you can see, that is turning out pretty damn well. So, yeah, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do the trim on the front of this, or how I'm going to do it without messing up part of the stairs, but that's Future Cross's problem. Future Cross, it sounds like a new sport. The premier Future Cross athlete. Dun dun dun. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to do other than maybe peel these layers of white paper off, and I guess I will do. So, anybody asks you what you did on your Sunday night, tell them you foxeled and pooped, and they'll be like, you did what? Don't explain it. Say it and walk away. Yes, I know. For all you UK people, our cheap, oh, I should have got more glue on that. Oh well. Our cheap, dollar store foam core peels really easily. I know. But it doesn't hold texture well, it doesn't take texture well, etc., 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 etc. So, there's trade-offs. I have some of the expensive stuff, and it does not peel well. If anybody wants to know how to peel foam core, there is a very simple way. Nobody ever believes me. Take isopropyl alcohol and water, spray it onto the paper, wait till it sort of soaks in and looks like it's drying out, and this paper will peel right off. If that doesn't work, boiling hot water, do the same thing. Spritz it on really lightly, spread it around if you need to, let it just start to soak in, and once it gets through that layer, it hits that glue and comes right up. Everybody's got all these different methods that are complex and disorganized. I'm like, no, just spray it. You're done. I will probably never have any viewers again ever because I'm certain that between Greebles and Grizel, I've ticked off half the internet, but it is what it is. Okay, now, here's the thing. On this, I was going to clad this corrugated in a layer of paper just to block it. But to be honest, it's never, yeah, if we take this off the play inside, no one's going to be looking at whether that part is decorated. So maybe 10 years from now, if this ship is still around, I will be like, oh, well, I guess I'll put some paper over that. But right now, it's okay. Now, this piece with the fold is at a weird angle. This piece where the other piece pressed in a dent is at a weird angle, so it looks bad from this side. But from the top, peachy keen. So I will at some point find out where the center line is on these, start from there, and draw planks out on that like I did on the rest of these decks. So for now, this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted an overhang when you come out of the cabin, so if it's raining or something, you can still come out and talk and not get poured down on in a gale. Gale's not the right word. Gale is wind, not rain, but you know what I mean. That's a little wigglier than I thought, but once I get that trim piece on, it'll be fine. And so, yeah, I'm really happy with this. I am really dig in how this is turning out. I am very much happy with this. I am not going to take any stills of it like this. I will wait until probably tomorrow when I put the planks on and get some stills, and I'll toss those up on the Discord and probably like 8 other Discords and all of that. I really could use a social media manager. I'm horrible at it. Yeah, for what it's worth, that's it for tonight. Let me switch to the front, tell y'all, good night and everything. Please do, really, like, share, subscribe, and in a few minutes after this video's ended, hit a comment. Comments seem to drive the algorithm a lot, and I could use some new viewers. It's not like, not a huge deal. I just like to bring what I'm doing to more people so that I might inspire them or just have them go, ooh, ah, and be impressed. And I'm not trying to impress them with me. I hope they like the way the things are turning out, just as a piece of beauty, or as, oh, I'll file that away for later. Just like I did with the push pin concept, which, like I said, I did not originate that. I would take credit if it was mine, but it is not. So, let me turn off this light here, and then I'll switch that camera there, and we will wrap it up for the evening. You stare at it and ugly the paper off. Is that how that works? Underpainting, appreciating. Yeah, exactly. I think it's funny. I saw somebody that wanted... Oh, I'm too far from the microphone. Give me a second. I think it's funny. I saw somebody the other day who... they painted all their foam with like a house paint, just so they could spray paint it, so that the spray paint wouldn't melt the paint. And they said once they had the inner layer of paint on and they got the spray can out, they said, now I'm going to put some primer on. And I'm like, no, you already put primer on. But whatever. Okay. Yeah, so that's me. Hello. I'm not actually looking at you. I'm looking at my screen because it's doing weird things, but that's all right. This one's, yeah, it doesn't matter. So, big old boat. That's what I'm making. This part I'm holding here will be purple. This part I'm holding here, I can't decide. It will either be black or purple. And the 2 lower decks, which, if this is sitting in a dock, and I'm playing surface area, and I don't need to have the interior playable to where they actually get down into these decks, I just dropped my door, and I don't know where it went. My hatch that I made. Anyway, these 2 will be brown. These 2 will be like very dark tar-looking browns because I want them to look like they're covered in pitch so that they're waterproof and all that. And I'll have to crawl around on the floor and look for that hatch. Oh well. Oh well. So I hope that anybody who's trying to build anything like this can see what goes into measuring and fitting and making all the pieces fit in so that they're stable when they're completed and all of that. Like watching people zenithal prime and then immediately cover it with solid opaque paint thick enough that nothing below it shows through. Yeah, there's no point in highlighting and giving that zenithal, which, yeah, somebody didn't know where the term zenithal came from, and because you're spraying from the zenith, you're spraying, and they were like, oh, that makes so much sense. I was like, yeah. They're like, and you just know that off the top of your head? And I'm like, yes. But that's probably because in the 80s, because there was a very big, well-known brand of televisions called Zenith, and I stared at the Zenith logo for 10 years. So, yeah, I'm just babbling at this point. Gonna make decks on this. These now fit. I will put some edge pieces. I'll put some flat pieces on here that are like this bottom piece of this rail here. That will take up that gap that's on that edge. Once that piece is glued in place, then I will take another piece and glue it to the side of these 3, and that will definitely, at that point, there won't even be any wiggle in this. This will be pretty much sturdy when it's done. Same as these pieces look like they're going to slide around, but the moment, because I've fitted these, for want of a better term, holes in here, then it's quite sturdy. So what have I got left to do on this? Railings. There's going to be a box in here where the mechanical parts of the ship would be, the ropes and pulleys that turn the rudder. I'm not actually going to make a rudder. If I do, it will only be on the back of this this deck, and that box needs to be there so it can turn the rudder, and so that would be there. So that means I need to figure out where that sits and align it with a piece here where the big wheel will be. That's going to either eat up a whole chunk of this room, or I'm going to make it a section in the middle, and I'm going to build like a little walkway or storage compartment or thing here. But this is basically captain's cabins. There's going to be a bed off to one side. I'm going to have bigger windows on the back than I do anywhere else. All the rest will have like portholes. They would be square, they're not going to be round, but they're going to be the kind with the lift up little doors. I figured out how to make those already. I'm going to work on that later. There's going to be a bigger window in the back. I'm probably going to make that similar to these doors with the thing, but I'll probably put the slats at a 45. So big window, little windows, little windows, little windows, cargo, masts. The masts are going to have pegs. I'm going to have to drill holes through this. These masts on this deck alone, not the other ones, will have a hole in the top of each of them, so that my masts will have a peg at the bottom of them, and I can just stick them into that other piece, and they'll be aligned where they need to. Now, it's going to be a little strange because I've got this much ship, and my masts are this close together, but that's not really weird, especially if I put a boom here, then a triangular mast over the forecastle. It doesn't matter. And it's a fantasy world anyway. They don't have to be rigged exactly like earthly ships. So, mechanicals room, steering, which is called the con, steering. Forecastle's basically going to be open. There might be like a storage box or something I make on there for like ropes and things like that, but it won't open. It'll just be there. The rigging, like I told you before, the rat lines that are the ones that are triangular shaped with a lot of cross pieces, those will be able to be attached to the mast with a hook and loop section thing where I just kind of hang them on and they sit against the side of the ship. That's not a today me problem. Yeah, masts, decks, boards, like planks, controls, cargo, bunks on that one deck, and outfitting these two cabins. Yeah, I got like another 6 to 8 weeks on this thing. So I hope it's not boring anybody yet. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. That's what my stream's about. Super chill stuff, always in miniature. If you are interested in anything miniature, whether it's tabletop role-playing stuff like this, tabletop wargaming stuff like this, fairy houses, doll houses, book nooks, anything like that, I want to talk to you. So if you're like, oh, no, nobody ever talks to me about my geeky miniature stuff, I will talk to you about your geeky miniature stuff. Hit me up in the Discord, links down below. Yeah, super chill. This is Campaign Terrain. I'm your host, That Guy Cross. This is the basement. You're welcome back every Sunday that I'm here. Sometimes I miss it, but I try to be here every Sunday. And so, yeah, that's it. We're all in this together. I love you. And until next time, I wish you the absolute best luck in your campaign, whether it's in real life or on the table. Thank you for coming, and I hope it's been enjoyable. You have a great one.